Hey man, I'm back. This time for good. Me and my friends have been developing this game for a while. It's something very special. I think it's gonna be very innovative. Not necessarily innovative, but just make watching UFC and MMA as a whole way more fun and way more enjoyable. So this could be a start of a video series. We're excited to share what our plans are, and eventually we want to make a website to be able to promote this plan. So if y'all want that website, make sure y'all share this video, subscribe, like, do all that stuff so we know that you are interested. And yeah, we'll keep this weekly video series whenever there's every major like UFC event or MMA event, and you'll see exactly what it is. I'll explain the rules. I'll explain what it is. I'll show you our teams. I'll show you after the first UFC event, UFC 311, what the standings are. I hope y'all enjoy. Hey man, welcome to MMA Fantasy. So me and my friends decided to create this game. So you know how there's fantasy football, there's fantasy basketball. We want to make watching MMA as a whole more interesting, more fun, more, you know what I'm saying. Add some gambling to it. You know what I'm saying? There's already drinking, fighting, now gambling to the sport. Nah, but in all seriousness, me and my friends created this game called MMA Fantasy. We tested it out slightly last year with just two of us. Now we have six of us, and we're going to take you along the process. Eventually, ideally, we would want to turn this either to an app, a website, something like that, so we can get y'all to join in on this. So make sure y'all like, subscribe, and more of whatever I said earlier, right? So let's get started. So, MMA Fantasy. Here are the rules. So the rules are a win, just a normal win. That's an additional point. If you win the title, that's an additional point added on to the win. So that's 2 points total. If you win the title by KO or submission, that's an additional point. So the most you can win is a title win is 3, a normal title win, right? But we'll get to the other specifics later on, right? If you lose, that's -1. If you lose the title, if you're champion and you lose the title, that's minus a point. So that could be -2 points depending on, again, who do you have, who's fighting, and how you lose by. Because if you lose by KO or submission, that's also negative points, right? So the most you can lose in a fight, for sure, is -3 points, right? But the most you can win in a fight actually is +4 points because if a champion takes a fight on short notice, gets a title defense, gets a KO, and wins off short notice, that's +4 points. So, like, for example, Alex Pereira versus Khalil Roundtree. He won by KO on short notice. So that'll be 4 points for Alex Pereira last year against Khalil Roundtree in UFC 305 or 306. 306. And then, obviously, if you pull out, that's -2 points. We don't want any pullouts. If you reach double champ status, like simultaneous double champ status, that's +3 points. There's not many people that can do that, but I think a couple of my fighters can. Just to say that. And we draft one fighter per weight class, right? So you can't just double down and be like Sean Strickland, Bo Nickel, DDP. They're all in the same weight class. You can't do that. So let's continue. Let's show what we drafted, right? This is the little draft. We'll just keep it short and sweet because I have different things to show. The number 1 overall pick was Max Holloway. Number 2, Islam, Tatsuro Taira, Alexandre Pantoja, Alex Pereira, DDP. So one thing I will say, you want to pick active fighters, right? So let's say that you pick like John Jones. He fights once a year. He'll only get you at max like 3 points. You would want to pick people that are going to fight multiple times a year. So that can explain like the Max Holloway pick, Tatsuro Taira pick, and stuff like that ahead of time. Which is why Diego Lopez was so high, right? Which is why Carlos Prates was so high, right? So that's like the ideal strategy going into the draft. So this was the draft. This was the draft order. We did a snake draft, so Max Holloway, and then back down to Ilia Deportia was the first pick of the second round. So makes sense. Understood. Let's continue. So the first team, Team Jet, right? His flyweight, Kai Asakura. Bantamweight, Corey Sandhagen. Featherweight, Yair Rodriguez. Lightweight, Max Holloway. Welterweight, Leon Edwards. Middleweight, Bo Nickel. Light heavyweight, Alexander Rakic. And heavyweight, Jalton Almeida. Right? And Jalton Almeida was the only one on his team that fought at 311. We'll get to the scores and the standings and all that after we go through the teams. And then Team Aaron, he has Manel Cap as flyweight, bantamweight Piotr Jan, featherweight Diego Lopez, lightweight Islam, welterweight Joaquin Buckley, middleweight Hamzat Chimaev, light heavyweight Yuri Prohashka, and then heavyweight Shamil Gassiev. Right? Let's continue. Team SDP, right? So Team SDP has Tatsuro Taira as the flyweight. At bantamweight, Marcus McGee. Featherweight, Josh Emmett. Lightweight, Paddy Pimblett. Welterweight, Carlos Prates. Middleweight, Israel Adesanya. Light heavyweight, Khalil Roundtree. And heavyweight, Yair Rosenstrike. Now we get to my team, the winning team. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how I got this deal. To be honest, we drafted before the UFC 11, so a bunch of people might have thought that Merab was going to lose, so I will say that. So at flyweight, we have Alexandre Pantoja. At my bantamweight, I have Merab Dvalishvili. Featherweight, Jean Silva. Lightweight, Justin Gaethje. Welterweight, JDM. Middleweight, Anthony Hernandez. Light heavyweight, Carlos Ulberg. And heavyweight, Tom Aspinall. I know, solid team, right? Now let's continue. Team Blake. These are the last two teams left, by the way. Team Blake, Brandon Royval, Umar Nurmagomedov, Alexander Volkanovski, Arman Tsarukyan, Shavkat Rakhmonov, Nasruddin Imavov, Alex Pereira, and Curtis Blades. And now for the final team, Team Ty. He has Brandon Moreno, Sean O'Malley, Ilya Topuria, Charles Oliveira, Bilal Muhammad, DDP, Jamal Hill, and Cyril Gane. So as you can see, there were plenty of fighters that fought at 311. And we did take that into account. We drafted the teams before 311, so we're counting 311. So let me show you what the first week standings are going to look like. Let's see how it's going to be looking like in the future. We're just going to be adding points, subtracting points to whatever team we have. So let's take a look, right? So of course, 311 recap, right? On 1-17, right? January 17th, Arman pulled out of his fight the day before the fight. So for Blake, that's -2 points. So he's already started off pretty sad. Not gonna lie, pretty sad. So Blake has -2 points. He started out with -2 points, but he still had Umar fighting. Like obviously, y'all know what happened. We didn't know what was gonna happen. So he had Arman pull out. So he started off with -2 points, already off to a bad start. The first fighter to actually fight was Jalton Almeida for Jet. He won by TKO. Against, who did he fight again? Against Sergey Spivak, right? He won by TKO. So Jet got the win plus the KO bonus. So Jet got 2 points. And then the next fight was Yuri Prohashka versus Jamal Hill. So Ty had Jamal Hill, Aaron had Yuri Prohashka. So Yuri obviously won by KO. Right, so Aaron got 2 points, one for the win, one for the KO. Ty lost 2 points because one for a loss, one for losing by KO, and so on. I think y'all get it. So then the next fight was Merab Dvalishvili versus Umar Nurmagomedov, right? So Blake had Umar, and I had Merab. Can I say what a fight? Everybody thought that the fight was going to be boring. I was super interested into the fight going into the fight. I had Merab winning. I felt like people were counting out Merab. I could just continue to talk about this all day, but let's just get to the points, right? So I had Merab, so I get 2 points because one title defense and plus a win by decision. Blake only lost one because Umar just lost by decision, right? Pretty fair. So Blake, we'll get to standings again later. So Blake already is at -3, right? And then, of course, Aaron had Islam. Islam got the title defense, the submission, and the win. So he got +3 points. Now let's get to the standings, right? The first week standings. So the first week standings go with Aaron at 5 points, me at 2 points, Jet at 2 points, SDP at 0 points because he had no fighter fighting, Ty at -2 points because the loss by KO, and then Blake plus the pullout plus the loss is at -3 points. So this is the week 1 standings. Next week, I know SDP has Israel Adesanya, Aaron has Shamil Gassiev. I'm not sure who else has, but I know other people do have fighters fighting. We'll keep up to date with that. But we're going to make this a weekly series. Every time that there's a fighter that people have fighting, we're going to update the standings, update what's going on, and just overall keep y'all updated. You know, who knows what's going to happen. But these are the standings right now. Again, like I said, eventually we want to turn this into like a real game, a real website, a real app so we can get everyone else involved, right? But this is what we have so far. Let me know if y'all enjoyed. I'll keep updating y'all every week, and I'll start uploading more videos in general too. Right. I also want to talk about other things outside of MMA fantasy. I want to talk about like who should fight who next, what happened over the weekend, give y'all recaps of everything. I just feel like this is an interesting way to come back. This is something that we've been working on for a while, and we're just very excited to share it. All right, I'll catch you.